Warning. This is not a safe space. Leave your bullshit and feelings at the door.
Today we take on part 4 of the male patriarchy. Is there an issue with male violence in America? Let's sit down and talk about it.
It's time for the most raw and unfiltered experience on the internet. So kick your feet up and grab a cold one. You have just entered the Man Cave. And now, here they are, winners of the self-proclaimed International Greatest Men Alive Award, Brad and Terry.
All right, thanks for joining us here in the Man Cave. I am Brad.
And I'm Terry.
Hey, make sure to check us out online over on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and on YouTube. But if you want the full no bullshit experience and the ability to win prizes, you're going to have to subscribe to us over on Patreon. We'll talk about that more here in a little bit.
So I think you're just trying to force feed me Oktoberfest until I like it. Because now we're still drinking Oktoberfest, but you've brought me a different brand now. So why don't you tell them what you got?
Obviously, if you've listened to the past episodes, I love Sam Adams Oktoberfest. It's my favorite beer. So anytime I go somewhere and I see another Oktoberfest, I have to give it a try for comparison. So today we have the Sierra Nevada 2018 Oktoberfest. It's brewed in collaboration with Weihenstephan, they say is the oldest brewery in the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
What a title to hold.
Brewed in Chico, California, and in Mills River, North Carolina.
So they claim it's the oldest brewery in the world, yet it's in the United States, because I know that the oldest brewery in the United States is the Yuengling Brewery. Because when Prohibition happened and all the breweries shut down, Yuengling changed over to brewing ice cream so that they could keep that
but
title.
I think this Weihenstephan is probably in Germany.
Oh, and they just have a brewery here.
And they worked with Sierra Nevada to develop 2018 Oktoberfest.
Got it.
There we go. Tracking.
Yep, I'm thinking.
All
Okay,
right.
Cool. So the topic for today is male violence, male on female violence. And I think we're going to take a different path on this one than we have on previous parts of the male patriarchy, because we've been trying to debunk things, and I think we can both agree that when it comes to domestic violence, the majority of it is male on female domestic violence.
Yeah, I looked at it very much into, they're just trying to say that, well, all men are inherently violent, therefore we should do away with their violent tendencies. And to me, men are, I believe, we are inherently violent. Of the two sexes, we are more violent than women.
Sure.
But to me, it has to do with controlling that. There's a time and a place to utilize that violence and that strength in society.
Sure.
And I think you have an excellent story that I know about that demonstrates the proper use of being a large man and doing violence at the right time at the right level.
Yeah, and it kind of, it has both aspects. It has violence being used correctly, along with violence being used incorrectly. And what the story basically starts in my old apartment. The upstairs apartment above me was vacant for a long time, and then people eventually moved in, and I would hear commotion every night in the middle of the night. And I never really thought too much of it. I just thought maybe they're young, they're partying, whatever. Until one night it woke me up at like 1 a.m. to hearing a woman's voice screaming for the way I took it, screaming for her life. And at first I just kind of, I observed with my ears, and I was like, okay, let's see what happens here. And then the screaming turned into, help me, help me. So
literally the words?
Literally the words, help me, help me. So I immediately called the police. And the police came and arrested everybody in the apartment. I watched it from my window. They arrested everybody. And I have still not interacted with these people. They come back the next day, and a couple nights later, the same thing starts happening, but this time the sounds are coming from the hallway. So I'm not really sure what's going on, but it's a woman screaming for her life again.
Yeah.
So I get on the phone with the police, and I call them again. But before the police arrive, seeing as now this is not in the apartment anymore, this is outside, I grab my shotgun, and I walk up the stairs, and what I see are two men trying to forcefully hold this woman inside the apartment. She's trying to escape, and she's beat up, and one of the dudes is beat up too. So there was definitely a fight.
Yeah.
But there's two men trying to hold her in there. So I look at them, and I'm like, let the girl go. And they ignore me. So I pump my shotgun, and I say, let the fucking girl go. And then they realized I was dead serious, and they let her go. And I'll never forget the next day, I saw her, and she was with her mother the next day. And she broke down in tears as soon as she saw me because she literally told me that I saved her life. She was that in fear of her life. And yes, I called the police, but with what was happening, I think that if I didn't go up there when I did with what I went up there with, she very well could have been seriously hurt or killed.
Yeah, would have ended up in the hospital.
Right, because what I found out later down the line was that the two dudes that lived there were drug dealers, specifically in cocaine. So they were drugged up.
Yeah.
So who knows what they were going to do?
Who knows what the cops would have walked into?
Right.
Had they had to forcefully enter the apartment.
Yeah.
Knowing that you probably kind of surprised them a little bit. The cops beating down the door, they would have been prepped and ready to go if they had anything.
Right. So it's just an example of, if I was not willing to use violence to save somebody, someone could have died.
Yeah. I mean, think about, too, when there are men and women in this country who are prepped and ready to do violence on behalf of our nation. Are they not?
Yeah, and not even on behalf of the nation, just on behalf of morals and doing the right thing and doing good. Like, that wasn't in defense of the nation or the country what I did. Someone was in trouble. And I woke up and I helped them.
But what about those men who go to war?
Yeah.
Combat. Like, I'm not talking, just being, I'm talking men in combat. What are the combat-related deaths? Those are men doing violence. And I guarantee it's over 90% of all combat-related deaths are men who are willing to go over there and do violence. A few statistics that I have, because that's me. Like, look at Vietnam, right? You had 58,217 deaths, right?
Just from
men.
From both sides? From all sides?
Of American deaths.
Okay.
You know how many women?
How many?
8.
Wow.
Right? Gulf War, 367 deaths for men.
Okay.
Women, 15. Let's go a little more recent. All right? Let's go to Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Okay.
A little more of our time, right? As of August 29th of this year, the total deaths are 4,410. Of those, 4,300 are men. 110 are women. Men are very much more dying in combat than women. But why do we send men into combat?
Because they're inherently more violent.
Because they are inherently more. Isn't that what we want out of men? To go over there and at the time needed, be violent. That is how you win.
Right.
You don't go over there being a huge sack of pussy and just, maybe hoping you're going to win. No, you send the most violent. You go in swift and violent to win.
But with that, there are some badass women out there.
There are.
Yeah,
I'm not discounting women
Yeah.
in general. There are very much badass women in the world. And I'm just saying, though, but if you're gonna complain about men being violent, there is a time and a place that we want, as a society, we want men to be violent.
Yes.
And I think the problem that really they're wanting to focus on is you have a bunch of men or boys, realistically, who don't know how to properly be violent at the right times, right? Domestic violence is not the proper use of violence.
No, not at all.
And so why? Why do we have men, we will call them, we'll use the air quotes, why do we have men who don't know how to do that? What is the root cause? I have an answer, but
I'm honestly not sure. And the whole time you've been talking, I've been pondering it, trying to think like,
I think
what could the possible cause be? Because domestic violence is, I don't want to say it's a prevalent thing that happens extremely often, but it does happen, and it happens everywhere. It's not restricted to one area. It happens everywhere, and I can't put my finger on why it necessarily happens.
I think I can.
Okay.
A fatherless home. All right, kids of fatherless homes, 5 times more likely to be in poverty, commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of schools, 20 times more likely to end up in prison.
Okay, yeah, and I think it is one of. So you're saying that a child growing up without a father is more likely to
commit crime, to be those violent crimes that they're so worried about, male violence, because typically men in prison are in prison for different crimes than women. They're in prison more often for violent crimes such as sexual assault, murder, things like that. They were not trained properly growing up because they didn't have a father to teach them the right way to handle your violent tendencies and the wrong way to handle it. And they fall more into the category of not being able to handle their tendencies, right? Youths who never had a father living with them have the highest incarceration rates, while youths in father-only households display no difference in the rate of incarceration. That is from, I think it was the Minnesota Psychological Organization published a study about that. In addition, children who came from father-absent homes are greater risk to use illicit substances at a younger age, and the absence of a father in a child's life may also increase the odds of his or her association with delinquent peers. A high percentage of gang members also come from fatherless or absent homes, resulting in a sense of trying to belong to someone else, and they end up belonging into the wrong crowd that commits crime.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see how else. If you want to change the issues that you have with men ending up in prison with of murder, sexual assault, stuff like that, I'm telling you, get the fathers back in the home.
And I'm not a father. I know that you are, but I've heard this before. I don't remember where I've heard it, but it's so true because it made me think back to my childhood, in that I observed what I'm about to explain, and that is the most important thing that a father can do is show his wife love and care in front of a child.
Yes. The kids are so, what I've learned from being a father, right? Kids absorb everything,
mm-hmm.
right? If you think you're going to watch that video off in the corner and your kid's not paying attention because they're off kind of doing their own thing, they are off doing their own thing, but I guarantee they hear what you're watching, they hear what you're saying, and like you said, if you are, as a man, you're supposed to be that role model for them,
right.
So why would you not want to to teach your child how to become a man and how to treat their wife? Why would you not treat your wife the way you would want your son to treat his wife?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the philosophy that I use, right? I love my wife. I've talked about it before. I love my wife, and I show her the affection. I want my kids to grow up seeing that their dad gave their mother affection, that he loves them. Even if we have a small tiff and they hear about it, they never panic or worry because they constantly see that dad is giving love to mom, and they don't ever worry about anything kind of happening between us because they see more often than not, us sitting next to each other on the couch watching a show, cuddled up to each other, things like that. And that's what we're trying to convey to them. So very much, kids are very in tune to watching what their dad is doing, how they interact with their mom, and that's what they're also going to grow up and live like if there is a father in the home.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. But let's move on to
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have some football to talk about again.
Of course, every week we have some. Terry you've graduated a little bit, I'll say.
I'm what, 1-1 for 2 weeks straight now?
Yeah, you've graduated from being an offer to being a 1-1. You're 3-7 right now.
Yeah. Well, the league has been kind of unpredictable this year. It has, and my pick last week where I picked the Dolphins was that was a pick for my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I probably should have went the other direction, as I said last week. I did say it last week. So this week, we the two games I want to talk about, we'll start with the Monday night game. We have the 49ers at the Packers. And you got, man, I know I said I'm going to go over every Monday night game, but this one, I only see it going one way. And that's going to the Packers. The Niners are 1-4, and the Packers don't have too impressive of a record themselves.
Yeah.
They're 2-1, but they're going to beat the Niners.
Yeah, I'll let you have it.
Because it's a trend. I've been picking Monday night games.
It's a tradition. It's a tradition right now.
Every week I got my fingers crossed. I'll give me an easy Monday night game. Because and then the other game that I want to talk about is the late game on Sunday, and that's the Chiefs at the Patriots. And I think this is the game to watch this week.
Okay.
And you have the undefeated Chiefs going in to the Patriots' home turf. The Patriots are 3-2, but they're never to be underestimated.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be one hell of a game because the Chiefs' defense ain't that good. The Patriots' offense, in terms of the talent they have, of course Tom Brady's the star, but he doesn't have too much around him right now compared to years past. Mm-hmm. But he's always made big plays with not the biggest players around him. So he's always going to do something great. But the Chiefs' offense is killing it, man. Like, they cannot be stopped. So I think it's going to be an awesome game, and I'm going to say that the Chiefs take it and stay undefeated at 6-0 over the Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully a 2-0 week.
But my fantasy...
I was just about to bring that up. How are you doing?
I lost this week, and there was a couple reasons. So I played Matt Ryan over Aaron Rodgers just because Matt Ryan's been playing so good, and Aaron Rodgers had that little injury earlier in the season, but Aaron Rodgers performed like the god of a player we know him to be. He played great. And then I picked up Ajayi last week also, and he got hurt, and he's out for the season now, torn ACL.
Oh.
And that was early in the game, so he got me nothing. And then Doug Baldwin came back, and you won't believe the stats he got. You won't believe it.
Okay.
He got me 0.6 points. He had 1 reception for 1 yard. That was it.
He hooked you up.
So I lost.
Yeah.
But this week, I'm confident this week for sure because I don't remember the quarterback that my opponent has, but his starting quarterback is on a bye. So that definitely gives me an edge. But there's been this thing I've been doing in my fantasy league where I change my team name every week.
Okay.
And I kind of try and find the line that the rest of the people in the league will be like, yo, dude, that's getting a little too offensive. So
it wasn't week 1.
Week 1 was Blue Eyes White Privilege.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It wasn't there. That didn't touch the line.
No.
Okay.
So this week it is Blumpkin Spice Latte.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
That's gross to even try to visualize.
Yeah. And then last week was
what does a Blumpkin spice taste like?
I don't know. Shit.
Yeah.
Last week was 420 Pussy Destroyer 69.
Okay. Oh no.
Yeah. So we'll start updating my funny team names.
Yeah.
As
And hey, you know what starts November 6th for me?
college basketball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I say for me because that's when the Hoosiers have their first game. But I'll definitely be covering all teams, all NCAA.
And I can't wait for March.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, March.
It's far off, but I'm already thinking about it.
Oh, yeah. Late February, early March is just the perfect time of the year. The first probably like month, it's Cupcake Central. So maybe I'll see if there's some. They usually have the Big Ten ACC Challenge. There's some good games in there. There's some challenges throughout the first month or so, but most of the time they're just playing Cupcake Central and just dunking it on everybody.
Yeah.
It's not until they get into their conferences that they actually start playing some good teams.
And I know we talked a lot about the fight and all that.
Oh, my.
So we're not going to go into it anymore. If you want to hear us talk about the fight, we got the Shitface special you can go listen to. But the UFC just announced their next big fight. I think it's in December. I don't remember the exact date, but it's in December, and it's going to be a good one. Yes, they're going to pitch it as the biggest fight of all time, but it
can't be as good.
It's not.
It can't be as good as that post-interview, man.
Oh, my balls was hot. It's gone viral.
It has.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, but the next big fight is in December, and that's going to be John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson 2, and it's going to be good for sure because I love myself a light heavyweight bout, and I know that both these guys are awesome fighters, so it's going to be good. Well, stay tuned for more coverage as the weeks go by here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are we talking about next?
Oh, the next thing you wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
But I'll start this off by asking you a question about it.
Okay.
You know people who are vegan, right?
I do.
Okay. Did you ask them?
Never.
Have you ever asked a vegan if they were a vegan? Then all of a sudden you discovered that. So then, how did you find out?
They'll always tell you.
Of course,
there
will.
are two people in the world that'll always tell you what they are, and that's vegans and CrossFitters. Yeah.
Man, if you were a vegan CrossFitter, you couldn't keep your mouth shut if they paid you to try to do it.
Yeah. But I try to wrap my head around it because I realized when I'm around people all the time who are trying to go on health kicks and all this and trying new diets, and nobody that I directly know right now is, saying they're doing a vegan diet or anything like that. Everybody's on this keto kick.
Yeah.
We can talk about that later. But I was thinking, man, every single meal I eat has some form of meat in it.
Some form of animal.
Yeah. And
does beer if I went
no,
vegan?
No, it's not.
I would be able to drink beer?
There's vegan beer.
What's in a beer that prevents me from?
I'm not sure, but I know that vegans have to drink a specific beer.
Oh yeah, I would die.
Is it the wheat? Wheat's not an animal product.
Animal. That's like animal. That's animal food.
Right. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
I don't.
But I know they have to drink special beer. Which
okay, you know what we're doing next?
I'm not drinking vegan beer.
You got to try it.
Oh God. Okay.
Try it for the people. For the people.
I'll try it. But what I was thinking was every single thing I eat has meat in it, and I don't know. I couldn't picture myself not living that way. And the biggest thing is, has a vegan ever tried bacon? I know this is an age-old argument. Have you ever tried bacon? Because it's so good. There is no food on this planet that you add bacon to and it makes it worse.
No, not at all.
No. And if there is, you're not making the bacon worse. The other thing's just getting in the way of the bacon.
Yeah, well, think of how many years did we have fried chicken? And we also, or was it sorry, I was going with chicken and waffles.
Oh yeah.
Yet another outstanding combination.
Love it.
But have you ever had a pancake or a waffle?
Oh, with like the bacon in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. That sweet, but that saltiness.
Yeah, dude, I've had a brownie with bacon in it.
Think about how long anything that we've put bacon into, how long we've had both of those things.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until probably maybe 5 years ago we started deciding that bacon was so good we should just mix it in with everything else we eat.
I've had bacon beer. I've had bacon liquor. I've had bacon brownies, ice cream, vegetables with bacon.
At one point, I had bacon salt.
Well, like bacon bits?
No.
No, this is like salt that's...
It's like table salt that tastes like bacon. When we were working together, I had it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so when I had to eat bland mashed potatoes, I'd just pour some bacon salt on it. Made it a whole lot better.
That sounds wonderful.
I literally would pour it on everything on my plate just to make it taste like bacon.
That's
wonderful.
wonderful.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And my wife, she went to Vegas one time. She got me bacon-flavored gum. She got me bacon-flavored mints.
And I bet it was all delicious.
It was, because bacon is that damn good.
It is.
So were they born vegan? They couldn't have been. There's no way this many people were raised by their parents to never eat it.
Well, if they were breastfed, is that considered an animal product?
I Are people animals?
100% we are.
So Jeffrey Dahmer was technically he was just an extreme vegan.
Yeah.
He should have been charged with the crime of eating people. He should have just been told that he was just, a very vegan-vegish.
Jeffrey Dahmer was the original vegan.
Yeah. If we are animals, then yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer was just the OG of vegans.
All right, I like it.
Oh my. I think we're on to something, though.
I think so.
I think you'll have to go check out the After the Show because I got a few more questions on this topic for you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to save them for the After the Show.
Yeah, we'll dive into that whole keto diet, too.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So, hey, I'd like to thank our patrons before we head out. We got Lance, Alex, Rachel, Zach with a K, Zach with an H, Mark, Curtis, Martin, Jay, Jeremy, and Rudamac. So, hey, don't forget to follow us over on Facebook as well at the official Man Cave Podcast, on Twitter at the Man Cave 14, and Instagram at the Man Cave Podcast, and on YouTube. But for the full no safe space, no bullshit experience, check us out and subscribe to us over on Patreon. For only $1, you're going to get entered to win a U-Keg 64-ounce stainless steel growler and all kinds of other prizes that we're giving away, like our man card right now that we're doing a special until the end of the year.
And what's the next one? We got another one coming. Yeah, I posted a picture of it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, go over to our Facebook page. On the way, they are in production. We got some Man Cave koozies coming out. But I don't know if we're going to get them by the end of the year, so you're going to end up having to pop for that $5 patron level, but that's going to get you after the end of the year. That's all the swag that we come out with. You're going to get sent that swag. So,
and I know that the U-Keg, that's a big gift.
It is.
And it's definitely
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, it's worth the investment to try to get your hands on that thing because it is awesome.
I'm getting one. I'm getting one for myself, and we're going to start drinking out of it.
Okay. Can we not drink Oktoberfest out of it?
I'll find something else to put in there. Well, maybe we'll go around to one of these local places and get a nice beer and put in there, and we'll just pound some before we go on there. Like I said, but only for $5 a month, you're going to get in to win the prizes and get all the exclusive access to special podcast episodes, exclusive access to Piece of Ass, the After the Show, and also to tell us what you want us to talk about and give us feedback on topics from every podcast. But hey, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay with us. We'll see you next time here in the Man Cave.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Any real man would follow us on Patreon for exclusive content and prizes at patreon.com/The Man Cave Podcast. The Man Cave. No safe spaces, no bullshit.